First exercise of day one is the 2-second pause bench. So this is a regular bench press. I go over form and technique in extreme detail in the big bench book, so I highly recommend you download that. It'll work in conjunction with this really well. But the basics of the bench press, of course, feet planted, butt planted, shoulders retracted.
This is just like a normal bench press, except you're pausing for 2 seconds. And you wanna make sure you get a legitimate 2 seconds in, so it's best to practice this with a spotter first. So, lower it down, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, back up, as fast as you can back up. Taking a deep breath. Now, if you don't have a spotter to help you count 1 Mississippi, pauses always feel longer than they actually are. You'll swear it's 2 seconds, you'll watch it back on the camera, and it'll be like 1 second. So if you don't have a spotter to count 1 Mississippi for you, film it. Grab your phone, film a set, play it back, count it in your head as you watch the playback. If it's not exactly 2 seconds, work on making it longer. If you're in a gym where you're terrified to film it, grab your phone, put it on selfie mode, hit record discreetly, and just drop it right here on the floor next to you, and you can at least see the weights go up and down and time how long they're down for. Now, technique with this is very important. Once you unrack it, big air at the top, and hold it at the top before you lower it. Most people want to try to inhale as they lower. Don't do that. You'll lose so much power. You'll feel the biggest difference in the world if you inhale and hold that brace at the top. And then you want to hold that air in, hold that brace in the entire time, during the entire pause. Don't exhale until you're coming back up. So it should look like this. And then at the top, make sure you get some breath in, because you are holding your breath for a while. You don't want to get dizzy, so make sure you get some air in at the top. Each rep should be like a single rep. Don't look at it like you're doing sets of 5. Look at it like you're doing 5 singles. And the last tip I have for this exercise is don't rest the bar dead weight onto your chest. Do not let it sink into your chest. A good cue I tell everybody is try to just touch the fabric of your shirt with the bar and not your body. It's impossible. If you're touching your shirt, you're obviously going to be touching your body, but try to focus on doing that in your mind, and you'll notice that when you do touch your body, it'll be a very light touch, and most of the control will still be in your hands and arms, keeping the tension on your arms. This is going to make it a little bit harder. You're going to feel exhausted more, but this is going to build up that strength and that control at the bottom, and then as you practice exploding from that state, you're going to build a ton of explosive strength. And then when you go back to a normal length pause or a regular touch and go rep, you'll feel so much stronger.
Next up is the incline dumbbell press. You don't want to overexert on these, but these are amazing for building the upper body control. Plus, unilateral movements are great for strengthening up your arms, your triceps, and you'll feel it carry over to your bench pretty well. These are pretty self-explanatory. Find an incline bench, roughly 45-degree angle. Doesn't matter how steep or flat. It's up to you.
Kick the dumbbells back. Start with them at about chest level. You don't have to completely touch your chest if that's not comfortable, but they should be at about chest level, and simply press. And you want to keep your arms in a straight line with the dumbbells landing at the top of the chest, not so much down here. Top of the chest, straight up. You do not need to clap the dumbbells together like you see a lot of people doing. It's not necessary, it's useless, and it can even throw you off a little bit, throw off your balance. So nice and controlled on the way down, explode up. Always working that speed, control on the way down, speed on the way up, same breathing pattern. Neutral grip is fine if that feels better for you. That's all personal preference.
Next up is shoulders. We're starting off with what I nickname V raises. These are technically upright rows with dumbbells. So these are in the category of lateral raises for your side delts, but instead of raising them outward like we're flapping wings, we're rowing. So what you want to do is you want to start with the dumbbells in front of you, not to the side of you. You can lean your body forward ever so slightly, but you're keeping that core tight and the glutes tight. You're not loose and you're not bending all the way over. Just a very, very subtle slight lean, just so the dumbbells can be in front of you comfortably. And then you're raising them in a V motion. If you draw a line, tracing the dumbbells from where they start to end, it's gonna create a V. And you're bringing them out, and you're keeping the elbows to the front, and you're keeping your elbows higher than your hands at all times. And you're raising the dumbbells right up to about shoulder height, as high as you can go. And you can go pretty heavy with these, heavier than you can with lateral raises, and you'll feel a crazy burn in your side delts and rear delts. From the V raises, you can then superset with standing overhead press, and you can use the same weight you just used for the V raises. These do not have to be heavy. You just got your heavy pressing out of the way. These are just to get a pump. This is an example of what an easy RPE is. No real exertion. Superset, jump into sets of 10 or 12 if you're really feeling strong. And you'll feel it by the end. By set 5, even though it's lightweight, you'll be breaking a sweat with these, no doubt. But with these, same general principle. You want to keep the elbow cocked in front like this, shoulders retracted as much as you can. I like tilting the dumbbells in just a little bit like this, so I'm driving with the pinky. It helps me just kind of drive a little bit better. And the biggest thing, keep the glutes flexed. You want to keep the booty flexed and tight. It's going to keep those abs and core nice and tight, so you're not bending like this. So booty tight, abs and core tight, breathing. Next up is rear raises with the dumbbell for your rear delts. If you have a pec deck machine, you can most definitely use that for the rear delts as well. It's up to you. With the dumbbells, however, you want to make sure you're bent over, elbows again cocked out towards the front of you, like you're trying to touch the wall in front of you with them. You don't want to be going backwards like this. That turns into a back exercise. You want to keep the elbows out and bring them out the whole entire time. Picture there's a wall right in front of you. You're trying to slide the tip of the dumbbells against that wall the entire time. You want to keep your torso down. It's easy to want to try to cheat and rock like this when you get tired. Keep it down. And a good way to make sure you don't cheat and you're staying tight and you're smashing your rear delts is brace. Do the Valsalva maneuver the same way you would for a squat or a bench, where you inhale all the air into your gut and you punch that gut out like you're trying to make a pregnancy belly, or like you're ready for someone to punch you in the gut. You brace that core. If you do that between every single rep, even with a movement like this, you'll notice that you suddenly have so much more power. Those dumbbells feel lighter and you're able to squeeze the crap out of your rear delts. So, notice my torso stays nice and tight and the dumbbells are flying. Squeeze at the top, control on the way back down. This is going to be supersetted with one of my favorite movements. You can actually use these to warm up with before you're pressing too if you want. Keep it very light if you do. Face pulls. So ideally, you want to set the cable up to about shoulder height. You want it to make a straight line when you pull it out. But if you're limited like I am right now, I only have this pull down machine to use for cables. That's absolutely fine. Just grab it, stand back further than you normally would, and to match the angle, kind of lean your whole body back just a little bit, and that'll kind of match the angle of the cable a little bit. But here all you're doing is you're pulling and you're hitting the front double bicep. See the pose? You want to pull the middle of that rope in towards your forehead, but you want to pull the hands out to hit that front double bicep pose at the same time. Another way to look at it, because there's different ways to grip it, I like gripping it like this between my fingers. You can grip it like this, or you can even grip it like this. Find which way feels the best for you and work with it. There's no right or wrong here. The other objective is to basically just pull this as far back behind your head as possible and touch your forehead with that center of that rope. You're not going to really be able to do it, especially if you're bringing your elbows out along with it, and you'll feel this right in your rear delts nicely.